All right, weekly forecast for Sunday, September 23rd, 2018. We have a lot of pairs that we're going to be looking at to trade over the course of this upcoming week. We're going to start with the buy low pairs, the first of those being AUD CAD. All right, the zone I'm looking at is 0.937 to 0.9385. All right, now you can see that we are here with AC. We have kind of a BB squeeze going on, but let's throw a fib on here. You can see we're just kind of, price is kind of just creeping up. Let's throw on the Ichimoku. I mainly look at Kijun, but we've got this this nice support cloud here. And let's also throw on the this week's midpoint. All right, so we've got kind of this week's midpoint, Kijun, and the upcoming pivot, all in this area. All right, which is in this support cloud. Let's throw on a wave trend one time frame up. You can see we're got this nice bullish trend coming out of this oversold zone. We got a nice volume spike here. All right, all good, all bullish signs. All right, and let's see. Basically 937 and 9385. All right, that's right around here, right around that this week's midpoint, and then 9385 is right around the Kijun and the pivot. All right, and you'll notice this is kind of a pattern for this week. A lot of these trends, I'm anticipating them to have a little pullback to the to this week's around this week's midpoints, the upcoming pivot, and the Kijun line. Okay, so let's move on. Next, we've got AJ. For the most part, for Aussie pairs, we're going to be buying low this week, okay? Except for Aussie Kiwi, because it's even a better week for the Kiwi than the Aussie I'm anticipating. So we're going to be buying all the Kiwi pairs low, but we'll get to that. All right, we'll get to that. This is definitely going to be a two-part video. There's just so many pairs to trade this week. All right, so we've got AJ up next. All right, AJ, the level I'm looking at, or the zone, I should just say zone from now on, is 81 to 81.5. All right, so as you can see, 81 sweet spot here, 81.5, kind of a wide zone. We've got the upcoming pivot here. If we look at the this week's midpoint, so right around here, this week's midpoint to the upcoming pivot. And if we throw the fib on, you will see that the 23.6 to 38.2 area that we so often anticipate price pulling back to, right around there. All right, we threw the Kijun on. Kijun right is just above that 38.2. Okay, so just a lot of confluence in this zone. All right. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Next is Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar at 0.7225. Aussie dollar 0.7225. Let's just start by throwing on the fib. 0.7225. I'm thinking that's right around here, just above this 38.2 area. All right, if we throw on the Kijun, you can see it's right around there, as well as this week's midpoint. A lot of times you guys will find that the Kijun line ends up being around this week's midpoint. That's just what tends to happen. All right, so that just builds a really nice zone of confluence. You know, once again, that midpoint for this week, the Kijun line and the upcoming pivot. All right, so it's a really nice zone. The price will typically gravitate back towards before continuing its trend. All right, and we've got this really nice turncoat support here as well. So all of those, that 38.2, it's just a really nice level Once again, that level being the 0.7225 area. All right, just pretty much between these two sweet spots, 7.2 and 7.25. All right. Next up is CJ. All right, CJ. CJ's been trending for a little while. As you can see, our fib is going to be pretty large. I'm looking at 86.5 to 86.75. All right, so that's right here, this sweet spot just beyond this 23.6, 86.75, right here. All right, so once again, around that upcoming pivot, you know, in this zone of this week's midpoint and the upcoming pivot, 23.6, and once again, the Kijun line is on this week's midpoint. All right, so just a lot happening here. Just seems like a really nice, nice area. Okay, and by the way, guys, I would spend more time on each of these pairs, but we just have so many pairs this week. Like, you'll notice that I'm not clicking on the EMAs or the SMAs or the wave, which is, you know, EMA 34, the TMA, the OMA, or just other things, just because really there is just not enough time in these videos. There's just so many pairs, and just a lot of them are mainly revolving this week around this type of zone that I keep mentioning. Okay, that's really what I'm looking at this week. All right, moving on. Euro CHF. All right. All right, we're looking at 1.1225. Okay, so just the midpoint between these two sweet spots. Okay, where this support is. Now you'll of course notice that this pair has been pretty choppy. But you'll see just nice little support area here. Okay, this one is actually kind of different because it's been ranging for a while. We're not really going to rely as much on the upcoming pivot or the midpoint or the Kijun line, because it's actually, Ichimoku is actually saying this pair is bearish. But as you can see, the higher time frame wave trend is bullish. It's trying to come out of this oversold zone. We got a kind of having a bull and bear volume fight here. Our last volume spike was bullish. But we, as you can just see from this point, we are in just a choppy but still bullish trend. All right, and if I throw on the fibs, you'll see that it's between the 61.8 and the 78.6 area. All right, am I? Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm drawing this correctly. Yes. All right, it's mainly around the 61.8 area. Okay, but it's kind of midway. I'm kind of thinking it'll probe that 61.8. I don't think it'll get down to the 78.6, but I'm thinking it'll probe the 61.8 before continuing. All right. Let me just delete these fibs really quick, and on to the next pair. All right. Next we've got. We're going to start with the Kiwi pairs. All right, we've got NC. NC. This looks like a pretty good week for the Kiwi. All right. Okay. Fibs first and foremost. Okay. Next, well, really the most important thing is the pivot and this week's midpoint. All right. Which is right here. And the zone that I'm specifically the price zone, 74.5 to 74.75. Wait a second. Sorry, I'm looking at NJ. Let's go back up to NC. All right. A lot of Kiwi pairs here. All right. 0.8575 to 0.86. All right. 0.8575. That's right around here. To 0.86, this sweet spot here. Okay. So it's just around that. Kind of around the 38.2 area, all right, once again, around the upcoming pivot, this week's midpoint, and if we throw on the Kijun line, of course, it is right at this week's midpoint, as it tends to be, in this very nice support cloud here. All right, let's move on. Now we've got NF. All right, I'm thinking 0.6375. All right. Between these two sweet spots, okay, right in this turncoat support. Okay, just probing that this upcoming pivot. Okay, where is this week's midpoint? Oh, it's right here. Okay, this week's midpoint right at that turncoat support. Okay, Kijun once again is there as well. All right, so that's pretty much it for, and that's also a 50 fib. Okay, so that's pretty much it for NF. Next up, NJ. NJ, I'm looking at 74.5 to 74.75. All right, we're gonna have a big fib here. Trending pretty strongly. Okay. Yeah, 74.5 right here. 74.75. Right around that 23.6. Okay. This was the previous week's this week's midpoint. Kijun is right around there. Okay, I'm not sure where the where the upcoming pivot must be like on one of these lines, must be overlapping. That's why we can't see it. All right, but yeah, that the Kijun, this week's midpoint, they're right around that 74.5, and then the 74.75. I'm just thinking it might just probe this turncoat support and hit that fib, that 23.6 fib. Okay. The OMA is there as well. Yeah, I'm not going to click on too many other averages though, because we are on a very limited time. Okay. Next up, we've got Kiwi dollar. Okay, you can see the chart looks similar. Once again, a big fib. And we're looking at 0.6625 to 0.665. All right, so right around this 23.6 to 38.2 area, where the upcoming weekly pivot is. There's the Kijun, which this time is a little bit above the this week's midpoint. So yeah, right around here. All right, 6625 to 665. Okay, that Kijun weekly pivot, 23.6 to 38.2 area. All right. Moving on. Now we're getting to Euro USD. All right, we're going to buy a couple Euro pairs, or be looking to buy low, a couple Euro pairs this week. Just the Euro dollar to start. Euro USD. Start with the fib. Alright. Now it's interesting because the wave trend 1 time frame higher is getting into overbought. 2 time frames higher, still a long ways to go. Alright, we're in some turncoat support right now. I'm looking at 1.17 to 1.1725. Alright, this sweet spot up to the midpoint before the next sweet spot. So really right in this turncoat support, maybe probe it a little bit, right around where the pivot is, as well as this week's midpoint, and once again the Kijun line. They're all right around there. Okay, that's just more of the same. All right. Now for it looks like I am out of time. We still have 4 more buy low pairs, and then we're going to get into sell high pairs. All right, so yeah, this is going to be a crazy week. I am very excited.